anyway, that's sort of we could jump into, stuff that has been going on. The reason why, my posting, I know for one, has basically gone to zero.
Mine's been very minimal.
Yeah, and so, it's just we've just been a little bit busy, a little bit preoccupied with stuff that's been going on the farm the past little while. And how rude!
How dare you!
And we can get into that and get into sort of what we've been up to and why we've been so busy. But a little full feedback.
Wait, what was that?
Nothing. No.
But yeah, if people have questions about that, they can go ahead. But we can start talking about that. So I guess sort of really like the first thing that we had to get involved with was a lot of sales at the beginning of the month. That Isaac and I were involved in, and Connor was manning the fort. That was sort of where we last left our story. That was sort of the last episode we did, was back then, sort of after that whole stint.
And I remember, when was the last time we did this?
It was after the first weekend in June, because
I remember, like 3 weeks.
Yeah, it's been like 3 weeks.
Oh, man.
Because then you left. Yeah, I know that we did genetics was the last one we did, and then you left to go home for your brother's high school graduation, and so then you weren't here.
And then
the next week
we canceled.
We just didn't do it because we were so
strung out.
We were so strung out, but anyway. And then basically for the month of July, I'm getting there. For the month of July, we didn't get a rain.
June.
Yeah. For the month of June. And at the end of May, we hadn't gotten a single rain, not a drop. And so we were basically ready to implement a drought plan. We started it. We started selling off our cull animals. If you have any interest in learning about drought management, we have a whole discussion on that in a previous episode. But we started selling off cull cows and
trying to get rid of as many bulls
as possible. We got rid of some steers, and right around when that was all lined up and happening, it just out of nowhere began to rain, and we've gotten like 10 inches of rain in the past week.
It's not 12.
It's been insane.
It's like 8 in one day.
So the average for June is probably pretty normal, but it happened in like the span of 1 week as opposed to an entire month, which we're thankful for. We're not complaining, but it's just sort of a really weird weather situation. But anyway, the big thing we've been dealing with recently is an outbreak of pink eye, and we talked a little bit about that in one of our previous episodes, but it definitely escalated to a point where Greg felt the need that we needed to address it and do something about it, and so we did, and we doctored a lot of animals, and the whole herd,
everything that had pink eye, we
doctored and ran everybody through the chute, all the cows and all the bulls. It was a marathon of a day.
Yep.
But we got through it, and it sort of wrecked us for the rest of the week. But it's just part of it.
The whole week was. Last week was
just crazy. Just a lot of stuff going on. We ground meat for several hours. For people who have been following along.
We had a cattle drive.
We had a cow get out.
We had a blind cow we were chasing around.
Yep. Yeah, we have a blind bull we're still chasing around.
Yep.
Just never a dull moment, I guess, is one way to put it. But it also means we're sort of jumping from one thing to the next thing to the next, and there's not a lot of time to just sort of like take a breath and appreciate what's going on, because you just sort of feel like you're treading water, like just about to keeping your head up, But I feel like you guys were starting to allude to, we're sort of getting on that downhill slope at this point where
calving is starting to
drop off.
Hopefully this pink eye thing will
resolve itself.
Or
our efforts will hopefully result in some improvements, which we sort of have already started to see. I feel like
we're also putting the bulls into the mob this week, so that'll drastically decrease our workload.
Our workload as far as chores are concerned.
Right now, chores is basically our workload.
Yeah, it pretty much takes us most of the day.
Chores and setting up fence and tearing down fences.
It takes up. We have no time to do anything other than direct things that are directly related to the well-being of the herd, which, it is what it is. But
just like anything, there's seasons.
Yeah, there's a rhythm to it, and it'll shift in the next coming months or whatever. So, just part of the whole deal.
There was times last year where chores took 30 minutes.
Yep.
Can you imagine that?
I don't think we've had a day where tourism
No.
took less than 2 hours.
I don't think it will be a thing.
For a while.
I don't think it'll ever be a thing until all the dogs get sold.
Right. Yeah.
That will always be a constant, and that adds another at least 30 minutes to the daily routine.
Yeah.
So
The 30 minutes was more when like they were close to. Like,
yeah,
They're
sheep were moved. If they were like around North Place, unroll a wire. That was the only thing you had to do.
Go out there, and make sure they're good.
Make sure they're good. Yeah, exactly. But we'll get there.
Yep.
That'll be like August by the time that happens.
Yeah.
But anyway, we got any activity in the chat, or people just
Yeah, there's some
sitting there
questions
listening?
and stuff.
All right.
Yeah.
Let's start rattling.
Start rocking and rolling here.